Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K Facebook Live video. And today I'm going to show you a card that I made with the Sweet as a Peach stamp set bundle, which is one of the newer ones from the current annual catalog. So this one just came out when the catalog started in May, I guess it was. So I feel like it's been longer than that, but it hasn't. So in early May. So, and we're already into June, which is shocking to me. I don't know where the whole month of May went. I guess I spent it in Hawaii, so I can't complain too much. So, all right. So I'm going to show you again quickly how I made this card today. So if you're joining, feel free to say hello and let me know that you're here. And if you're watching the replay, that's awesome too. Whenever you want to watch is good for me. Hey, Kay, thanks for hopping in today. So I appreciate you being here. And I've been gone for 2 weeks, so I'm totally out of practice. So this video will probably be a total disaster. So I'll warn you that before we get going. So, okay. And Karen is here as well. So thank you so much. And I appreciate that, Kay. So yes, I'm back and glad to be here and a little sad and missing Hawaii just a little, but, but can't stay there forever. So, hey, Mary, thanks for joining today. All right. So let's get going. So this is the card we're going to be making today. Just a fun one with the Sweet as a Peach stamp set bundle. And this is the stamp set, which it's a good one. Love all the sentiments in it. Love the images in it. Love that it's got dies with it. So these are the peach dies that coordinate with it. And obviously this cuts out the peaches. This one cuts out the branches. This cuts out the larger peach and the little stem on the larger peach. This one cuts out the flowers, and then there are some floral pieces and a branch that are just like a little extra bonus pieces and leaves. And then this one will cut out some of the smaller sentiments in this one as well. So it's a great die set, great stamp set. If you don't have it, you definitely need it. But of course you need all of them. So, hey, Jeannie, thanks and Elise, and anybody else, if I missed anyone, and Jerry's hopping back in too. So, like I said, glad to be here, a little, missing Hawaii a little, I gotta admit. It was fantastic there. If you get a chance, definitely go. So, all right, so let me set aside the dies, and again, the stamp set here, the Sweet as a Peach. One other thing that I did use on it for this little background piece, which you may not have really noticed, it's kind of hidden underneath the peaches, but gives it a little bit of texture. I did a die cut with the Fabulous Florals dies, and again, it's just this kind of border die. I don't know what else to call it, lattice-looking border die. So. Hey, Heather, thanks so much. Best part of summer break is getting to watch. Oh, I appreciate that. My kids are still in school for another like 2.5 or 3 weeks. So we've got well into June before they're going to be done here. So, all right. So that is the die that I used for the little background piece. And let's get busy and do some stamping. So before I get started, I guess I should tell you the retired stamp set sale for the January to June mini catalog, Stampin' Up! 2021 mini catalog, is starting at 3 o'clock Eastern time, which is 1 o'clock Mountain time. So calculate that out to whatever it is, your time zone. But it starts here in about an hour. So if there are things that you're wanting, they're going to have quite a few things on sale, some of them up to 50% off. So lots of good deals to be had. So make sure you're keeping an eye out for that. Again, it starts at 3 o'clock Eastern time or 1 o'clock Mountain time, and anybody else in between, y'all got to figure out your own, because I don't, time zones to me, especially being all jet lagged, man, I can hardly keep straight what day it is, much less anything else. So, all right, so let's get going on some stamping. So, hey, Nyoka, thanks for hopping in. Glad to be back too. All right, soft succulent is what I used for most of the greenery on the on the card that I'm making. For the background pieces here, I actually inked it up in soft succulent ink. Stamped the little branch on scrap paper, and then stamped it over my card front here. So I did that once, and then did it a second time up on the top. Again, stamped it on scrap paper, and then stamped it here on the card front. All right, so we got that part done. I'll set this ink aside so that I hopefully don't stick my fingers in it again here anytime soon. And then I've got the little individual peach, well, not the individual, the little 3 set of peaches, and I'm going to be using pale papaya ink for that one. And going to ink it up, and again do the same thing where I'm stamping it on the scrap paper and then finding the right spot here on my image and stamping it, hopefully, in the right spot. There we go. And again, this is a distinctive stamp set, so it gives it kind of a layered look, and you'll see that a little bit better in some of the stamping that I'll be doing in a second. But it sort of gives the layered look here for the what I've stamped off on it. So, all right, so that is the background. Super, super simple so far. Next up, I did some die cutting ahead of time. I did go ahead and cut out the little lattice image from the, again, this is from the Fabulous Florals die set, and it's just the one piece that I cut from basic white cardstock. And I guess I should have told you, I didn't even, like I said, I'm all out of practice on this. It's been 2 whole weeks. So this is a thick basic white card base that I have cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5.5. And again, all of the information, all the dimensions and everything are going to be out on my blog post tomorrow, which will go live around 8 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday. So you can take a look out there, and I'll link it up in the video details as well. So you'll be able to find the blog post once it does go live. All right, so I'm going to take this and adhere it to the card front. I just used a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue and just put some little dabs on the back, and I'm trying to get it lined up fairly straight. And I'm trying to use my grid paper to do that. So I've got it, you know, kind of lined up here. The 2 points are pointing at hopefully the same line as I'm adhering this down. Hey, Connie, thanks for joining today. I appreciate you being here too. So, all right, so I think we've got that stuck down, and then we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Again, I did some of this ahead of time just because it's repetitive stamping, and I didn't think you needed to see me stamp and die cut the peach and the little stem 3 times. So I figured that did 2 of them ahead, and we're going to do 1 of them here on screen. So I've got the larger peach image from the Sweet as a Peach stamp set in the Pale Papaya ink, and we're going to stamp this full strength in Pale Papaya on basic white cardstock. And then we are going to do the same thing with our stem, except for it's going to be in soft succulent ink. And while I'm stamping that, I wanted to also remind you that Stampin' Up! Has started a new kit collection, which starts today. They are posted in the online store, and they're already out there and available for sale. So there's some really cute kits. If you're a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, you'll recognize some of the pieces from Paper Pumpkin, but they're a little bit different as far as the kits go. Lots of fun ones and good prices on them too. So I was kind of happy to see those. So again, those are available now, starting today. All right, a couple of dies from the peach dies that I'm going to go ahead and put these over the top. I'm just going to run them through my die cutting machine, which is over here. Oh, I do have one more thing to stamp. Good heavens, I almost forgot. So Calypso Coral was the final color that I used for the little flower image. And again, these are all from the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. My Calypso Coral ink was it's a newer ink pad, so it's a little bit overly inky. So when you use the distinctive stamps, I'm not sure how well it shows up on the screen, but sometimes you get kind of ink bubbly look and kind of globs of ink on the distinctive stamps if you have an overly inky ink pad like I do. The way that I have found to get rid of that best is just to take a sponge dauber in Calypso Coral and then just do a little bit of light touching with a sponge dauber over the top of your image. And that kind of cleans up and takes away all those little bubbles and allows the distinctive part to really be seen. So that is my one tip when you're using the distinctive inks. If you're getting globs or bubbles or anything that you don't like the look of it, when you're using it, take a sponge dauber, just put a tiny little bit of ink on it in the same color and then dab it over the top and then stamp it, and you probably will see a totally different image than what you would see if you hadn't done that. So again, hopefully you can see on here the distinctive part really pops out when it's inked correctly. So yeah, the bubbles, they drive me crazy too, and that's when I figured out the sponge dauber trick. So, and I was glad that I figured it out. So, and there is a die here in the peach dies that cuts out the flowers as well. So I'm going to be off screen for 1 second, and I'm going to be running these through the die cutting machine. Definitely give that a try, Jeanette. It works great for me. I've been really happy with the results that I get with it. Hopefully y'all are enjoying your Tuesday as I'm over here die cutting. And hopefully y'all had a good couple of weeks while I was gone. I know I certainly did. Like I said, it was fantastic being in Hawaii. I can't complain at all. They treated us really fantastically, and everybody that we met in Hawaii was incredibly nice. All the people from Hawaii were very, very, glad to see us and glad we were there, and glad we'd done all the testing and got vaccinated and all that stuff before we left, so they didn't have to worry about us spreading anything around over there. So, all right, so I've got the die cut pieces here. I'm just picking them up off of my cutting plate, which, as you can see, mine always look like a dog has chewed on them. I use them until they're really in bad shape. So, all right, but that's me because I'm kind of cheap. All right, so, whoop, and I see my die cut has popped up here, which is not a big deal. If it doesn't stay down extremely well, we're going to be taking a bunch of glue dots and dimensionals and sticking it all over the top of the die cut, so it will be stuck down well by the time we get done with it. All right, I probably should stamp this sentiment. Again, like I said, I'm kind of a little out of practice on all this stuff. Sentiment, again, is from the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. I'm using Evening Evergreen, so I pretty well stuck with the new in colors, with the exception of Calypso Coral. I added that in just because I thought it was really pretty with the Pale Papaya. And I'm stamping this directly onto the card front, so I'm going to hope that I get it fairly straight and it doesn't have anything crazy happen with it. And I see that I got it a little bit further over to the left than I did my original sample, but that's okay. We'll just adjust the look of the either the peaches or some of the embellishments that we put on it. So, all right, got glue dots here, the little mini glue dots, and I'm going to take the peaches and start sticking those on to the card front. And I'm going to be a little bit careful with the placement of the glue dots. I'm going to make sure that they're down a little bit. Where I don't want them to be is right up here in this area, because I'm going to be adjusting the little stems in behind it. So I want to make sure that, well, first of all, that it's going to fit on here. And secondly, that I don't have a glue dot that's in the way when I go to adhere the little stem onto on top and underneath the peach. So. All right, so again, I'm going to be taking some glue dots here and adding those to the back of the stem that I've already stamped ahead of time and die cut. No sign of a well-loved cutting plate. Yeah, I don't know. Either that or I'm cheap. Like I said, I tend to use them until they break, which I know everybody has their own way of using using their cutting plates, but I use mine until they get so bad that they actually break along the edge. And that's way more die cuts, I think, than you're supposed to do with them. But, they last forever if you do that. So yeah, I have one that's getting ready to break. I know it will at some point soon, but yeah, that's okay. When it does, it does. All right, so again, when I'm placing these on the card front, I want to make sure that I don't have my little stems hanging off. So I've got to make sure that I've got my peach sort of placed in a spot where the stem is still going to be on the card front, but it's in a place where I want it to be. All right, let's see if I can get this all stuck on here with glue dots. And I'm going to tuck this one underneath here as well and stick it down here to this peach. All right. And then the last peach I actually stuck on with some Stampin' Dimensionals, which I always chop mine in half. And so I've got half Stampin' Dimensionals. And again, I use my word that I'm cheap. And Karen corrects me and says that I'm frugal, but I still say I'm cheap when it comes to Stampin' Dimensionals. So I cut them all in half because I like the way that they work better. I feel like they fit better in many places when they're cut in half. All right, so we've got the third peach stuck on here. And then I'm going to take some little glue dots and adhere the stem underneath that peach as well. And then we're going to use glue dots to adhere the 3 little flowers around the card front. And we're actually almost done with it. So, all right, so that's the basic of it. And now I'm going to adhere a couple of flowers on here with glue dots, hopefully, if I can get my fingers to work. I stuck one of them up here on the top peach, and then I tucked the other 2 around the peaches that were down on the lower part of the card. So I'm going to take this one and kind of tuck it under here, and this one and tuck it under the other side. And don't forget, Stampin' Up! Has got their Connect, Craft, and Collect still going on, which is a little bonus that you get if you order $250 or greater, or if you have a party that totals $250 or greater, you get an extra $25 in Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up! So that's a great deal. If that's something that you're interested in having me set up a host code for you to see if you can collect. I think I pulled that one right off the backing because I was talking and not paying attention. There we go. So if you're interested in having me set up a host code for you, I can definitely do that. Just let me know and drop me an email at amy@stampwithamyk.com, and I'll be happy to set that up, and we'll get your party going and see if you can get a $250 order. So, and get the extra host cash from Stampin' Up, which is a good deal. So, all right, we have got the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels. These are currently actually turned off for ordering temporarily. They should be turned on within about the next week or so. They're supposed to be back in stock, so hopefully they will be. But I grabbed a couple of the pale papaya gems and stuck them around here on the card front to finish it. Last thing we're going to do is a little stamping on the inside of the card. And again, I've got basic white cardstock cut to 4 by 5 1/4, and we're just going to put it inside the card base when I'm all done with it. We have to do a little stamp in here. I've got Evening Evergreen. I'm going to stamp the main sentiment in, which again is from the Sweet as a Peach stamp set. And again, all the details will be posted out on my blog for this card tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. I think I even got it fairly straight, so yay. So feel free to hop out there and take a peek at it. And again, I'll be linking up the blog post here in the video so that you will be able to find it tomorrow once the post goes live. Then I've got soft succulent ink that I'm going to be stamping the stems in. And I'm trying to stamp it so that the peach doesn't actually get stamped over the top of the sentiment. Now, I don't know if I've done it exactly correctly or not. We'll figure it out once I get it stamped, but I think I've got it up high enough that it's not going to cover my sentiment. And again, I've got the little set of 3 peaches and pale papaya ink. And I'm going to be stamping those here in the card. All right. Hey, I think I did it. All right, look at that. Yay! So the only thing, this is a really easy stamp set to stamp with. The only thing that's a little difficult on this particular stem that I have found is, for whatever reason, when I was lining it up, I kept trying to put this peach so that the top of the peach was here, and nothing else lined up correctly. And then I realized, oh, it's not supposed to go there. This is actually where the top of the peach goes on your stem. So just be aware of that and don't do what I did. So, all right. I'm going to use a little Stampin' Seal, maybe if I can get it rolling, to adhere this panel to the inside of the card base, and then we're going to be all done for today. So let me know if you have any questions on anything. I'm always happy to answer and happy to help out with anything. And hopefully you like the card, and hopefully you will definitely give this stamp set bundle a try because it's a good one. And was one of my very first picks from the new catalog. I was pretty excited to see it in there. And I'm not even really a Georgia girl. I mean, I was there for a little while, but I can't really claim that as my home state. So, but I still thought it was a really cute stamp set bundle. All right, going to do a quick crease here with the bone folder across the top of the card. And we are all done for the day. So that's it. Super simple. I hope that you like it. Again, just a basic card. I love the colors. I love the new in colors. And love the stamp set. So definitely give it a try. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks again for joining today. I will plan to be back on YouTube Live on my channel about 2 o'clock Eastern Time on Friday. And then back here on Facebook Live again around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll chat soon.